everyone. So I actually thought I would come on here and do a Joann's haul. Joann's is closing its doors, and so out today we actually had plans to go to Five Below after we had already gone to Hobby Lobby. And so since we were driving by and they had the big banner that said 50 to like 80 or 90% off, I'm like, oh, well, we can go in and look. I mean, I was not really a Joann's shopper. I went in a couple of times and I always felt like, it's okay. But at the time I was younger and I wasn't really into crafts or anything. And so it was kind of like, you know, when you're a kid and your parents take you to Costco and like you have to, like, the best part was the samples and that was about it. Kind of the same thing for me and Joann's. And so I kind of went in there and I was seeing people leaving with, 1 to 2 to, 3 shopping bags, big shopping bags. And I'm like, I think this has been closing for a while. There probably isn't going to be very much there. That's still good, but we'll go ahead and try and kind of take a look. I was wrong. They still had a good amount of stuff. One of my biggest scores that I'm super excited about. So for those who follow me, or if you've seen any of my past videos, you'll see that I do post candle making stuff. And one of the things that I had wanted to start working with was gel wax. And for those who work with gel wax, gel wax isn't cheap. And so I was super excited because I literally found 2 3-pound containers of the gel wax. They were $32.99. Then they had, for the store closing, they took 70% off. And then that went, and when you went up to the register, they took an additional 25% off. So these 2 are amazing. I haven't gotten to work with this gel wax. I actually finished the other wax that I had, my soy wax, and finished doing some candles stuff that I had been working on. So I completed that. These are my next project, but I'm super excited to work with that. With Mother's Day coming up, my mom does sewing. She's into those needlepoint crafts. So I was literally on the phone with her as soon as I had calmed my senses. And so I had seen that they had all these sales, and so I asked her if she needed anything. So she's getting the cute little tomatoes. She gets 2, and then she needed straight pins, so she has those. And then actually her and I both picked up a tape measure because, you need those. So we have those. Let's see. So the big ticket items, they still had some big ticket items. They did have, I think, a few machines. I think they were, they weren't the Cricut. They were the other one that was in competition with them. And I think they start with an S or a C. But I think they had 1 or 2 of those. I don't know how much they were. I don't know how many they had. Just because that's not something that I work with. So I didn't really pay attention. But I do think they did have some of those machines. However, for Cricut Joy, I got their watercolor marker and brush set. I actually should have gotten the cards that went with them. They had some of those there. I did not grab those though because, well, my cart was already full. The next thing that I did get is the glitter shakers. I do use them in my candles. However, I also am very careful with which ones I do use in there just because not all glitters are safe to be in candles. The next one that I got is this cute pin, the Hermit. So those who follow me on my channel know that I'm also a tarot reader. So that was perfect. Alrighty, so I got a lot of candle making stuff. So I got these unscented 3-pack. And the idea was I was going to have them in sets and I would do something with them. I haven't decided what. I don't know if I want to add them to like a bigger candle or if I want to just leave them by themselves. But these are a future project. Alrighty. Let's see. Running out of... Ooh. Yikes. Okay, I'm dropping stuff. So. Okay. So these ones, I have 2 sets of the gold tapered candles. And I also have 2 sets of the silver tapered candles. These are going to actually be a project that I'm working on. These are going to be twin flame candles. So the set is going to have a silver and a gold one, masculine and feminine energy, and then they will have their dressings on top, and then they will be sold as a pair, as a set. And these are going to be, you know, if you're kind of, I don't want to say drawing, but kind of, if you're in a twin flame connection, then this is kind of that, like, you could light it and set your intention, and it depends. Now, I never encourage people to try and break up their twin flames, and again, when I do readings with twin flames, I very clearly explain that, you know, when you're dealing with a twin flame situation, these things have to unfold organically. But kind of an intention set for those specifically who are involved in a twin flame connection. The next thing I got is this set of, they're like a burgundy color, like a burgundy red color. 2 sets. I sell my candles in sets. So when you purchase candles from me, it's not just one candle unless it's the big ones in the jar. Usually tapered candles, tea lights, or even votives are usually a pack of 2. And so these ones will probably be used for love, romance. And then I also got green ones as well. Those will probably be used for abundance, and they will be dressed and worked on accordingly. And then for the last set of tapered candles, I got 2 sets of the black candles. So I love the black candles. Oftentimes, if you've ever had a reading with me or you've ever worked with me personally, in just even in passing and just having a conversation, I often encourage people to light a white candle and a black candle together, just for protection, removes negative energy, and then the white candle purifies and protects. So at least once a month I try and do that. These are actually going to be a set of protection candles. It's really hard to find tapered black candles at a reasonable price. The last thing that they had is 2 boxes of dried rose petals. I love these especially for the romance candles that I do. I don't only do romantic candles. I do love candles for loving yourself, healing from heartbreak, and just kind of self-love, those kind of candles too. So it's not just relationship or trying to find somebody. It can be self-love. And then the last thing that I got is this 24-piece pack of votive candles. These were $22.99 and then 70% off of that. These ones are going to be used for multiple reasons. I can think of probably healing, protection. I usually do more of the protection with black candles. However, and I do have some black votives that I can work with. But the white candles are also a good natural psychic abilities, that kind of thing. And so when I work with these candles, I don't really have a plan for them. When I pick them up, I just knew if I didn't get them, I would regret it. And I think that is it. So all in all, I had a very successful shopping trip at Joann's. I actually found way more than I expected to, spent way more than I expected to. I'm still in sticker shock at how much I spent, but I will say it was an investment. It was definitely stuff that I could see building in the future upon, and so that's really exciting. I got this gel wax that is probably seriously the highlight of my day. Like, I am so excited, can't wait to work with it. Cool new candles, some stuff for candle making. So if you see a bunch of posts churning out candles, you'll kind of know. A lot of it is I try and have some back stock so that when and if I need to bring up candles, I have some. But I have been looking at trying to branch out and at least put them in another shop or two. So we'll see how that goes. And that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and end it right there. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.